This is our lovely siding from 1950, the year our home was built, and it had a little bit of rot at the bottom. So we added a little bit of trim right here because whoever did the concrete did it kind of poorly. So this is cedar down here, and I just stripped a few pieces and nailed it on, but over here, well, there was a bit of a problem. We found all of this rot, just super duper rotted. So we took these boards off, the original boards off, and I started making some new ones and nailing them back on. We also did a little bit of great stuff, which I hate, but it works. And you can see the profile is a nice curve and then a rabbit here. So this is just a really heavy pine. I got this yellow pine at a local hardwood place that sells much nicer wood than what you'd get at Home Depot or something, because they're really thick boards, or wide boards. So we needed something really special. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna scrape this off and repaint it. And I'll show you how I got this curve, which was way harder than I expected. The first step was, of course, cutting it to width. And then I used my little whatchamadoozit here, whatchamacallit, gauge, that's what it's called, to measure and pull down the line. And then I took a little pencil and just darken that line a little bit so I can see it. Don't look at this one. That one's wrong. Next step is to go down and get off a big chunk of it with my draw knife. Now you would think you could just plane this down, but it takes forever to do that. So getting a big chunk of it off is really helpful. And I have my holdfasts here that are knocked down to hold it in place, and it works great. I mean, you just kind of knock it down, just like so. I'm gonna do that, and I'll be right back. If you notice, I have another line gauged out for the depth to make this. So basically, I'm cutting away all of this, and all of this to make kind of a bevel. And then I'm gonna go in and curve it. So now that I've gotten a fairly good amount off with my handy dandy draw knife, I'm going to switch to this. This is a plane it's got a really wide mouth, and there's just an ever so slight curve on here. So it really takes a bunch of wood away pretty easily. That will get me down to a good size all around. And this pine really has a lot of changes in the grain. So this way I can work kind of on small bits, and then I'll move this way at times and move this way at times with this little transitional plane. One of my favorite planes. I got it for $7 in some antique place, and just sharpened that and made it a little bit curved, and that's it. working down to this little edge here. So now I have this nice bevel all the way down. I don't know what the degree is, but it doesn't really matter because I measured to this line and measured to this line, and whatever that degree is the right degree. So now I need to make a bit of a curve. So it needs to be curved slightly down here, kind of like that. Kind of like that, but nicer and neater. Well, I happen to have a plane, handmade plane, that is a giant round, and I have the hollow that matches this. But this is a beautiful plane I got for $10-11 somewhere. I sharpened this just the other day. It is very, very sharp. So it's curved, so it cuts really well. It's got a large mouth, as you can see. It works great, and it happens to match the curve just perfect. You ready? You ready? Oh, it's perfect. Wow. Oh, wow. So I am going to use this round plane to zoop, zoop, zoop to cut out the hollow that I need. See it slowly coming together. So I find it kind of hard to control this thing, to be honest, but it works beautifully. And towards the end, I just have to go slowly so I don't go beyond that line and make it uneven or wiggly, but it works pretty well. Once it's going, it's got this nice curve to it. I'll just work my way down the entire piece, and then I'll do a little bit of scraping and sanding, and then it'll be good. Whoa! See, sometimes that happens. But that's okay, I can sand that out. Maybe. Hopefully. We'll see. Paint covers up everything, right? So, all done making the initial curve. It's very, very nice, but I did get a little bit of tear out because there's a big knot here. But on the other end, it's not so bad, and I'm gonna shave this away anyway. So you can see it's a nice curve, you know, all the way down. So what I'm gonna do is, because I only need a tiny bit right there, ooh, and then a whole length here that this certainly isn't long enough for, I'm gonna cut this chunk out here to do the rest of that piece, and then I'm gonna cut that off and use the rest of this below, and then I'll do another piece for the rest of it. And I think this will sand out just fine, this tiny little piece. So once I do that, should be good. But this curve, this round here, it works just right there. So I need to take another plane and flatten this down just a little bit. Check plane. This is my Stanley Bailey number 5. I don't know if you can see that. Number 5. And it's set relatively shallow. And this just shaves that ridge down ever so slightly. There. Nice and shaved. So now it's just time to do a little bit of finishing. I have a little cabinet scraper that has a curve. It also fits quite nicely in there. So I'm just going to take this and slowly scrape. You see it's making shavings, not dust. And to be honest, I'm not the best at sharpening these things, but it seems to be all right when I use it. At least I can get one part of it pretty good. This just cleans it up a little bit. Nice. We're almost ready. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do, now that it's nice and scraped, that's just a little bit of dirt, I'm going to take a piece of 120 grit sandpaper and a jar, and I'm just gonna wrap that around and do a little of that. And before I place this onto the house, I'm also gonna sand the top, which is boring and I won't show you, but I'm going to use just a light palm sander. Aha! Okay, here's my little piece. I made a little rabbit in the end there, off camera. It's just as easy as sawing one way and then sawing another way. And there we go. It goes, ooh, it's windy. Goes slightly up there and matches that. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna nail that in, mark where the nails go, drill pilot holes, and then I'll be good. So all nailed in. There's a little bit of a lip here, as you can see. So I'm either going to sand that down or, hell, I don't know, leave it as is and just paint it and hope for the best. But yeah, it's nice and done. I also think I could just nail it down and that would flush it out. So maybe I'll just nail it right there and there and there, because the nails over there are not holding this down. I don't think that would fix it. Well, that didn't do anything, but it's totally fine. Ooh, look how beautiful. All right, time to do the bottom piece. Ooh, all done. Wow. Ooh, wow. Now we just gotta paint. Get yellow. Wow. Looks brand new. Can't tell the difference. Oh, wow. Like it's always been. Wow. Nice and shiny and new. Goodbye.